school who led the study. But I do think it dispels the myth that people will use money for illicit purposes, and that is such a pervasive lie. It is not true, by and large. Not to any greater extent than it would be for you or for me, probably to a lesser extent. Because if you or I buy drugs or booze or cigarettes, then we know that we could do it in a safe environment with a roof over our heads. We'll probably do it a hell of a lot more than homeless people. So here's the bottom line. About 2% of the total money that they gave them, out of this $750 a month, 2% went to alcohol, cigarettes, and drug expenses. Larger portion of which was cigarettes. 2%. They're not going to go out and spend all their money on garbage. They're going to spend the money on the things that they need. Shelter, food, clothing. The participants submit monthly reports on their spending and are surveyed in more detail quarterly. The study arose from Miracle Messages, a San Francisco-based nonprofit that sends volunteers to the streets and shelters to befriend homeless people and try to make connections with the loved ones who had lost contact with them. Founder and chief Kevin F. Adler started Miracle Friends, matching homeless people to volunteer phone buddies for weekly calls. That evolved into Miracle Money when volunteers began asking Adler whether it was okay to give their buddies a few dollars. Is it okay if I give this homeless person what they desperately need? Adler says this: you asked me to be a friend to this person, but they don't know what they're going to eat tonight. And so, yeah, thank you for being a friend, but, I could use a few bucks. I mean, they're being earnest and sincere when you see homeless people on the side of the street asking for money. They need money so that they can have food and shelter. You have those things. And we, collectively, not just individually in drips and drabs and bills and coins, need to give that to them for our sake and for theirs. Well, Adler didn't think the volunteers should hand out their own money, but the idea of cash support appealed to him. After a pilot program showed promise, Adler got a grant to expand to Los Angeles. He hired 2 recruiters to canvass homeless shelters. They enlisted more than 200 clients who met the criteria of being at least 18 years old and homeless and expressed interest in having a phone buddy. Rather than just give the money away, Adler hoped to document its effect. He teamed up with Henwood, who devised the controlled study. The participants were divided randomly into 2 groups. One group received 103 received stipends. The others were told they were on a waiting list. After 6 months, only 12% of those who received funds reported being unsheltered at any time in the prior month. So they were able to stop being homeless when they got money, when they got actual money, actual resources that they could use. That's amazing. The cash recipients also said they were better able to meet their basic needs. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 completely, 5 not at all, they dropped from about 3.75 on average to just over 3.25. See, that's a Christmas story. That's a positive thing. And what would really make it wonderful is if we learn from that. If we learn that homelessness is not about making people work harder. Homelessness is not about having people pull themselves up by their own bootstraps or just getting a job. You can't maintain a job if you don't have a place to live. You need money to get yourself in a cycle where you can even do that. And solving homelessness is not about having the police kick homeless people out of the area where they happen to be gathering. It's about giving them resources so that they can live their lives like you and I do. If we learn that lesson, that giving money to homeless people so that they can find a place to live, and that's obviously something that is successful when you actually do it, if we learn that lesson, then that would be a wonderful Christmas gift for all of us, I think. I'm Beowulf Franklin. I want to thank Ace Elson and Rosabelle Hine, the producers of this program. I want to ask you to rate and review this program on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other platforms. It helps expand our base. And until next time, Enjoy the day.